Are you a buyer who's really concerned about trying to find a home? Or you're a seller who's like, when can I actually think about putting my home on the market because there's not much out there? Well, what I wanted to share is an interesting trend I noticed this morning is that I track these numbers every single day for our market. And I look at all across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts for everything that's put into our multiple listing service. And I track all residential properties. So single family and condos. I don't worry about multifamilies because the market for multifamilies is very different. But I look at single families and condos, and I look at specifically how many are on the market, how many went into contract, how many have closed. I've been tracking it over time. And today, what I decided to do is I've been noticing an uptrend. And over the last couple of weeks, the last 2 weeks, we finally pretty steadily broken 5,000 total units. Now, mind you, we should be closer to 15,000. So we're still very short in inventory. However, there is some room for some hope. And reason being is, as we look here on these charts, the yellow is property sold. So property is still selling, property is still going under contract. And we've seen both of those on the rise. And then we've also seen, and I take the active numbers and I put it into a separate chart so I can see it because it compared to the sold and the under agreements, it's going to continue to pale in comparison for the foreseeable future. So I wanted to have it on its own so I could spot those trends. I added in a trend line. And what we've been seeing is a fairly steady rise in number of inventory and another big spike. So 2 weeks in a row, this is Thursday, we had 224 additional units come on the market last night. And the previous Thursday, we had 218 units come on the market. So we officially have a trend of spiking on a Wednesday evening coming into a Thursday morning. As we can see here, the total number of residential inventory is rising. And what I decided to do is I wanted to compare it with the daily interest rates, which I have down here, which I'm actually going to come over to here now. And what I did is I started tracking where did the rates start to dip and notice that we have a trend here where as soon as those rates started to dip, we started to see a fairly significant rise in inventory. And what you typically see over the course of the week is the inventory comes in the market, you hit the weekend, and then the new week starts and those properties go into contract. And so that's been steady. But what we can see with the trend line is we can see the trend is going up. And it was pretty well correlated with the change in interest rates. Now, the other thing I want to note is if you are a potential buyer purchasing at higher price point, maybe the top 10%, 15% of a market space, you are still, those properties are going to move very quickly. And it's because if you look here, I don't know how well you can see this, but the yellow line is the jumbo 30-year jumbo rate. It looks like it's about 5.95%. That's a national average. You're going to have some banks locally that are going to be cheaper and some that are more expensive. The national average right now looks like it's about 5.9% or so. When a regular 30-year fixed, national average is about 6.6%. So you're seeing a fairly significant difference in a jumbo, which means folks purchasing at that higher price point can borrow money more cheaply. And as a result, the properties, I got a client looking at a property 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.4 million, and very competitive. We're seeing over asking price offers going over the course of a weekend, even homes that need work. Some homes that need significant work, they might sit for 2 or 3 weeks as opposed to going, or maybe up to a month, as opposed to going over the course of a weekend. But it all seems to be tied into the interest rate. So as long as the interest rates continue their downward trend, I mean, it started to tick up on the regular 30-year. And that was probably, this change was probably due to the Fed announcement of a 25 basis point increase, which isn't directly related to mortgages. This is the rate that banks borrow money from the Fed. So we can see a trend here that we're starting to see the inventory rise. It was a little distressing through here late February, early March, because we've had such a mild winter. Typically, we would have seen inventory start to rise pretty significantly in February just because it has been so mild. We haven't seen that trend, but it looks like things are starting to break up a little bit. So if you are a buyer looking in the area, or you're a seller looking to either upgrade your home or downgrade your home, there's some reason for some hopeful speculation that there's additional inventory out there. And you'll start to be able to, there's a good chance we're going to start to see some of this log jam start to loosen up a little bit. If you're looking to work with a broker who is helping you with these insights and trying to understand what's going on in the market, reach out to me. I'm Ryan Cook with HomeSmart First Class Realty. And this is stuff I love doing and helping people be able to make intelligent decisions with their buying and selling of their primary residence.